The treadmill has been around for decades. Everyone goes on them. When you think of fitness, when you think of weight loss, the first thing you think of is a treadmill, running. And in this video, I'm going to explain the formula, the perfect blend that you need to lose weight while still using a treadmill. And surprisingly, it's not what you think. First things first, stop running on them. Please stick around. I'm going to explain why I'm actually saying that. Now, I'm going to quickly just take you through a scenario with one of our clients, Zara. So Zara was someone who just did not want to do anything else but run on a treadmill. That's all she ever knew. Going out for a run, going on the treadmill, running. She was getting home, she was tired, exhausted, sore joints, sore bones, absolutely exhausted, but she thought this was a thing to do. After a couple of weeks of doing so, now this was before she joined us, after a couple of weeks of doing so, she realised her weight wasn't coming off at all. Shocker. So instead, I said to her, listen, why don't we change up the approach for you a little bit? So why don't you, instead of running on it, let's maybe go for a walk on it, right? Let's get some steps in, because steps is the craze, right? Everyone wants to get their steps in. She was a bit reluctant at first because in her head, she thought, I have to run all the time, I have to sweat, I have to burn calories. And whilst that is sort of true, it's kind of missing the point here, in that this is going to be a small portion. So instead, what we did was I got her to do 3 things for me. Number 1, I got her to exercise with weights 3 times a week. That's all. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to keep it simple. That's all. 3 full body workouts. I planned something out for her, then I gave her some flexibility to do what she wants. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Number 2, I got her to eat at least 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. I got her using a calculator, and on the days that she didn't want to track, I said to her, listen, 2 palmfuls or 1 large palmful of protein per serving and you'll be golden. And along with that, 2 to 3 pieces of fruit and 2 sources of veg. And number 3, I got her to focus on the treadmill, but this time, walking briskly. Yes, I said to her, under no circumstances can you run on the treadmill, can you run outside. Simply go for a walk, whether that is a treadmill or outside for a walk. I told her to start off with about 20 minutes. I didn't really get her to work on steps. I said for 1 week, let's do 20 minutes every single day. Then the next week, 25 minutes, then incrementally increase it. Now, what happened? In the span of 5 to 6 weeks, she had lost 4 kilograms. Now, how did this actually happen? Number 1, she was stimulating muscle through weight training. When you lift weights safely with good technique, obviously get some guidance, you're stimulating muscle, you're building muscle, metabolism is a bit more primed to a degree, and in doing so, you're able to handle foods like carbohydrates a lot better as well, okay? And lastly, you get some strength on you as well. Who doesn't want that? Now, with her food, protein, it was helping her rebuild the muscle tissue she was damaging through the workouts, and it was a lot better for her long term because when she was running all the time, she actually wasn't eating enough protein. And protein obviously is the most important nutrient, in case you didn't know. And with the steps, this was a difficult one for her. I just told her to ditch the running, get the steps in, and in doing so, her recovery was better. She was actually able to get more work done over the span of a week, and she wasn't constantly tired and fatigued and worn down all the time. That's all she did. So I got her to stop running on a treadmill, and that's how you can do it as well. So my advice to you is, if you're trying to lose weight, stop running. I know it's going to go against everything that you must have read or heard, but there's a reason you're probably not losing weight if you've been doing it for a while. Instead, just focus on steps, focus on your nutrition, and if you can, lift safely, get into the weights room, or buy some kettlebells, some cheap dumbbells, work out from home, build some muscle. It's the best thing for you, especially if you're female. You ain't gonna get big and bulky. Look at me, right? Am I big? No. Well, I've got some muscle on me, but I've been training for 12 years. I've been training hard, thousands of calories, lots of protein every single day, and I'm not huge. So please, ladies, you ain't got nothing to fear. Now, what I'd like for you to do, and this is a little hack, a little tip for you, and this is by no means am I saying carbs are bad for you. They're not. But on the days that you're not going to be working out, so if you're, for example, you're training Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every other day, your carbohydrates, although get good quality carbs in you, just cut them down ever so slightly. Don't overthink it. The reason being is because a lot of people that we deal with don't want a calorie count because it is a bit time consuming, which I understand. It's good to do a bit of an audit, but if you don't want to, totally cool. The best way to regulate your calories is on the days that you're not going to be that active, even if you get steps in, remember working out is a demand and your carbs fuel that demand. So if you're not going to be working out that day, maybe cut down your carbs. If you want a guideline, maybe cut it down by about 20 to 40 grams. Don't overthink it, or whatever portion you're having just now, just make the portion a little bit smaller, and I promise you it's going to serve you well, because in doing so, you're basically making up for the lack of activity / workouts that day, so you won't need that many calories, obviously. And it's just a little smart hack that we use with clients, and it helps them regulate their calories without thinking too much about it. But protein should never be decreased. Always keep that high every single day of your life. Now, what I'd like you to do is avoid weight loss myths. So don't go anywhere else. Click the video here. Watch this. It's about apple cider vinegar. Now, some people do have a question around it and whether it helps with weight loss, and it kind of does. But I want you to watch this video first. It's very short. Don't go anywhere. Please watch that video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing if this video brought you any value. Take care for now.